more unhealthy foods you eat, the more unhealthy foods you crave. Welcome to a new episode of the Eva Eckert podcast. I am Eva Eckert and I am your host. I am a Polish immigrant with a big heart, strong accent, kick-ass husband, and two amazing kids. American entrepreneur sharing an incredible mission to inspire women just like you around the world to take bold action towards their dreams, passions, and desires so their life becomes more meaningful and fulfilled. I believe that this episode will help you discover the power of self-belief, self-motivation, so you can stop making the excuses and create the life you truly desire and deserve to have by being the upgraded version of you. In today's episode, I want to introduce my new friend. His name is Stuart. He's another addition to our amazing family. This is Stuart, everybody. I hope that everybody can see him. He is only 3 months old. He is such a cute rabbit. And we keep him indoors right now. We pet him a lot. And we try to make him as domesticated as possible because we want him to feel amazing with our family. So the dogs already met him. But met him through the cage. They didn't really play yet together, but we will give them some time. But I think they're gonna have a good relationship. So my daughter will have to take him right now. Here we go. All right, bye, Bunny. We experiencing a really hard nails from this little bunny. So I think the nails will have to be clipped really soon. So anyway, guys, thank you again so much for watching, liking, subscribing to my YouTube channel, and of course sharing this episode. In this episode, we're gonna be discussing the power, the secrets to a long life. And I actually got inspired to put this episode together by listening to another podcast. And I just want to tell you, we get inspired all the time. We listen to podcasts, we watch shows. Literally, you can be inspired by watching a show, right? To a discussion, meeting someone, anything. We get inspiration from our life. So I was driving to an amazing meeting with other women entrepreneurs, and I was listening to the podcast, and they were discussing the power of eating healthy, of long life, and it hit me that I have two amazing people in my family, in my bloodline, that has been living for a very long time. My grandma and my grandpa. My grandma just recently passed away. And if you've listened to my previous episodes, I shared amazing story of her, my story with her. And she's been truly, truly missed. And she lived until the age of 93. My grandpa is 96. And I mentioned their story in my episodes. But think about it. In today's world, do really people really live such a long life? And I start thinking, where in the world really people live such a long life? And this is what I found. And I was surprised that actually 24% of the population in the United States lives to be age 90 and above. And did you know that Poland is one of the countries with the oldest populations in the world, ranking 20th in terms of total population. So we have some old folks living in my country, and we travel pretty often. We travel with the kids, and I see a lot of older people, but to see someone that is over 90 is kind of a rare thing. And I was thinking, okay, why and how I can really put together this podcast for you. So the wheels will start turning. You will start thinking, you will start evaluating your life, because don't we all want to live a long life? But how can we live a long life if we are not taking care of ourselves? So I started thinking about my grandparents' life, because they are the proof that you can live a long life. And I've realized that they were living this long life because the way how they were living. So what stood out in their life is that they really were eating everything natural, guys. So I would say, number one, evaluate your life and see how much of the processed food that you eat daily, or how much of the natural food you eat and you cook. Because everything in my family pretty much was made out of scratch. So I was looking at my grandpa's or grandma's food every day, and I was like, they would eat probably 3 meals a day. And in between these meals, they maybe would have a banana or an apple. There was never a processed food. They never, I think, even tried chips in their life. They were not drinking any juices loaded with sugar. They were not overeating on pizza and French fries. They were not going into restaurants to eat. Everything was eaten at home, right? And you might think, okay, but how is this applying to me if I work all day long, right? I pretty much don't have that much time to prepare my food, or maybe take my lunch to work, and I just need to eat quickly, and I need to just have time to work, and everything is just fast in my life. Well, maybe it's time to slow down a bit. Maybe you're not taking enough breaks. Maybe you're eating your lunch at work, at your desk, while you're answering the calls, or maybe while you're typing the email. How about pausing, slowing down, taking that lunch break, stepping away from your computer, from your screen, because your eyes are already tired. Maybe going out for lunch if you have to, obviously, and choosing some natural good food options, some salads, some protein, right? Not some heavy food that will slow you down in the afternoon when you return to work, and you're gonna be like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I don't even have time or energy to finish work. You're going to feel sluggish and tired because your choices were not good, right? So even when ordering the salad, think about what kind of dressing you put it on. Do you put a lot of cheese, or do you maybe concentrating on high quality protein? And I mentioned this before, that my grandfather would have a beautiful ritual. I remember this as a little girl, and I mentioned this in previous episodes, that I remember him working out in the morning. I remember him getting up in the morning and doing this ritual, the body weight ritual. So maybe it's time to think, how do you start your morning, right? Morning of not only wake up your body, but nutrition. So there are two components, right, to this. Maybe you will have time to get up and do a workout instead of waiting for this workout at the end of the day, right? So think about it. How do you start your day? Do you grab a coffee immediately, and on the way to work, you drive by to get some donuts and some unhealthy bagel with cream cheese, and this sets you up for failure? Because let me tell you, if I would have started a day like this with bagel or donuts or any kind of heavy coffee with heavy duty, I would say, breakfast with a lot of carbs and fat, I know that my second option wouldn't be healthy. That's why I set myself up for success, and I choose the healthy options, because I've done it myself. I've tested this, guys. Literally, I've tested it. The more carbohydrates you eat, the more carbohydrates you really crave. The more unhealthy foods you eat, the more unhealthy foods you crave. So because we coming to the end of the year, and look, sorry, if you will be watching this episode maybe in the middle of the year, the same principles apply. So take this knowledge, take this information, and apply this at the end of the year. Because every year, at the end of the year, we should think, okay, what are the new goals and challenges I can set up for myself? Maybe it's actually doing opposite what the most of the population will be doing, which is partying, eating, drinking, and finding themselves heavier 10, 15 pounds on the scale at the end of the year. Why not to start this now this year? And I've mentioned this in my previous episodes, but this all is connected to what I wanted to tell you about the secrets to a long life. Because every year we need to treat it like a new year. But it starts with every month and going back every day, right? Every day is a new life. Every week is a new life. Every month is a new life, because you never have the same months. You never have the same days. You might be at certain point on an autopilot and eat healthy, right? But those days are not identical. Those months are not identical. Those years are not identical. So we need to treat them as new. The same goes for you. How can you extend your good life? How can you extend your good health? And my grandparents were the example of it. So setting yourself up for success starts in the morning, and that's why you need to create those rituals. And I talk about them in the beginning, in the previous episodes. So maybe it's time to move the workout in the morning instead of doing it in the evening, right? So when my grandfather would work out, he would go into the kitchen and cook himself milk, then cut the white cheese, then put some parsley or some Italian parsley. I remember him cutting these red, delicious peppers. And he would make these sandwiches. There was not a lot. There was maybe 2 or 3, but packed with, cottage cheese and these vegetables. And there was such a healthy breakfast. And the same was for dinner. We would always be eating soups. But soups that are not stuffed with some creamy soups. Like we here in America, we order the lobster bisque or the any kind of creamy soups, whatever comes to your mind. Think about the creamy soups that we order sometimes. Those are heavy soups, meaning they get up to 1,000 calories in 1 cup, but nobody never think of this. So how about some vegetable light soup, maybe like minestrone, or we make the sour pickle soup, which is just such a simple recipe because you just put literally sour pickles, the ingredients like carrots and celery and maybe some potatoes, and that's it, and maybe some chicken. So all the soups, like in Poland, we would eat just light. And that's what it is, just to deliver a lot of vegetables. And then the second meal was always cooked as well from scratch. There was a piece of meat, beautiful salad, and a little bit of the carbohydrate. So start thinking like this, because the fuel, what you eat, is where you get the energy from, right? How do you eat? It's really equal the energy. But then what else do you do? Do you take lunch breaks and go out for a walk? Or how many steps do you do per day? Because that's what it's all about, like adding this extra calories burned throughout our day. So my grandparents would walk everywhere because we didn't have a car. We had a car for a very short period of time. So natural way was to take a tram, take a bus, walk everywhere. But because we have such a sedentary lifestyle and we drive everywhere, that's how we are designed here, to hop in a car and go to the store. So if this is our lifestyle, we need to make sure that we adding that minimum 10,000 steps every day. This is like, guys, minimum. So I easily get up to 6,000 to 7,000 in my workout. Easily. On the days of cardio, it can be even more, guys. So right there, I'm getting this stuff. So that means that if you're doing your workout, if you're doing your cardio, your strength, you need to add these steps, right? And right there, you're gonna manage to get these steps. So start being more aware of how you spent those days. And the same goes for the evening meal, right? The evening meal would be rather on the light side. And I remember this like today. My grandma would always say, never eat until you're full. You need to leave a little room. You always need to stay a little hungry. She would never overeat on anything. And the same with my grandpa. The evening, the last meal, the supper, or if you eat dinner, wouldn't be full of carbs. It would be rather on the light side. So, and I remember they would never eat right before going to sleep. They would give themselves at least 2 to 3 hours, right? So the food is covered. So on the other side, I want to really ask you guys a question. How do you eat? Do you eat a lot of processed food? Do you eat a lot of, somebody, just recently I was evaluating this. I'm like, look, if somebody's been eating a pizza, French fries, and they're going to move into eating a protein bar and eating some protein chips, what a huge change, right? They already stepping up. So if you've done this, now the next level for you would be, okay, how can I turn this good processed quality protein, but they are still processed, into something more natural? Because that would be the next level. But if you are a person that's been eating French fries, a lot of potatoes, ordering hamburgers and eating pizza and eating all this starchy and healthy fattening food, it's time to start replacing. So you are maybe on a level 0 and you need to go to level 1 to replacing this nasty food into more natural foods. And then the next level would be, skipping even the protein bars and going into even more natural foods that we cook and make everything from scratch, and becoming self-sufficient, right? And self-efficient. So there are all different stages, but you need to start from somewhere. Maybe instead of driving for the sugary coffee every day and donuts or bagels, you need to start making yourself a protein shake. Right there will be a change, guys. Any change, any choice that is different from the one you previously taken and it's better, it's a good direction for you. So I want you to start thinking like this. So I think the nutritional discover, you start thinking probably, okay, when can I fit the workouts? If this guy, and my grandpa was he became an early grandpa. He was like in his 40s, literally, when he became grandpa. And I remember him like today, that he was working out. He was working out probably until he was like 70 or 80, doing the same routine. So no matter what stage you are at your life, you still can do it. Because I know that variety of people, and the younger and the older, watching and listening to my podcast. So never think it's too late. You can start even when you're 60. Literally, you can start. So what really else helped them in being healthy? Well, you know what? When I was a little girl, the popularity in Poland of smoking was really high. So I remember my grandparents were smoking at one point, but it was popular, guys. It wasn't like, I remember it was just popular. And I remember at one point when I was a young girl, they quit. They smoked for a very short time. So if you've been smoking, another rule is to quit. And they quit cold turkey. I remember just one day they decided, we're not smoking anymore. They smoked for a short time and they quit. So we have walks, we have exercises, we have eating healthy, we have eating from scratch, we have eating natural foods, trying to skip as much as restaurants as possible. But I know, look, sometimes we won't be able to avoid it all, but you need to find the most healthy options, right, for you. So they quit smoking, so quitting smoking. And look, my grandma never worked out, but she was active. She was always moving. She was always walking. So we covered the walking. Then another thing is like what helped them retire, what helped them to live that long life was really a financial status, because they learned how to save. I think they save into an extreme, because they save to the point that later in life they didn't enjoy as much, but they were able to retire and have money. So I think a financial status is so important, because if we're not financially set, it creates such a stress for us, right? Because how can you retire? How can you live long life if you don't have that cushion, that financial cushion that all of us need? So maybe passive income, right? Thinking about it. What else can I do? What else can I invest? What else can I invest? How can I grow? What can I learn today? What skills do I need to develop to help me to have a better life? And guys, it's all about, I think, getting into those rooms and learning from other people and seeing, okay, if they are living a good life and they are living a long life. What are they doing that I can borrow, that I can see, that I can change? And I think a big part of living a long life is really taking the time to review and reflect, to take the time to slow down. Because my grandma used to sit in her chair, and she was doing all kinds of things, and creating all kinds of things, and sewing, and doing all kinds of, I would say, um, things that would allow her to step away from everything else in life. She would read a lot of books. Do you read books? Do you have time to chill and slow down? Those are the things I think that we need to start implementing in our lives in next year. Not always go, 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 go. Because just even recently at OBS, and I mentioned this, that we go to Operation Blackside, I met some really high-end entrepreneur, but his thing was, oh my God, I'm so tired. I drink so much coffee. And I asked them, how can you perform? How can you really enjoy your life if you're going constantly? You're probably sacrificing not only your own health, but also sacrificing your family. If you go, 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 and you all the time everywhere, where is the time for your family? Where is the time to read a book? Where is the time to slow down and step away from the coffee and allowing your body to be so tired that you're craving this bad? You wanting to go to sleep instead of being so wired up and so ready to go, even at 10 p.m. Of course, there are moments that we need to do this, but there should be a lot of moments that you actually don't, that you actually can slow down and go to sleep. So what kind of hobbies you can do? What else can you add into your routine that will allow you to step away and slow down? Because they were doing it a lot. And let me tell you, they knew it also how to travel. I grew up traveling. I grew up when summer was the time to travel. Summer was the time to travel with my grandparents. Summer was the time to travel with my mom. Summer was the time when they were sending me to a camp. So I was such a lucky and fortunate kid that literally out of 2 months when I was going to school, maybe I was free for 2 weeks, just doing nothing. Because the rest was just always going on vacation and traveling with them. And I have absolutely the best possible memories. And that's why for me, traveling, taking the time off is so important. So important. And I am the one that always creates the memories for my family. I am the one that always creating these trips because this is how I grew up. And somebody is looking probably from the side, it's like, oh my God, she's always about this. Yes, because I know that this was needed because my family, my grandparents, my mom were working so hard all their life. And they knew it when the time comes, when they have that month vacation, that they need to spend with quality of time with their loved ones, with their kids, with their grandkids, when we create those long-lasting memories, because this is what exactly you're gonna remember when you're older. And if you don't have these memories and you have kids, I am challenging you to start creating those, because that's what they gonna remember. Or talk to someone that had amazing memories from their childhood, because this is really what makes life. And at the end of our life, relationships are the most important things. Nothing else matter. The big house and this stuff doesn't matter. It's matter who you have around you, who you connected. That's what really matters at the end of life. Because the richer we are in our relationships, in our amazing memories, the better life can be. So start adding those little vacations, maybe trips throughout the month, going for a week, 2 weeks. Start creating something that you're gonna feel fulfilled and happy. And guys, again, remember that the superhero is within you. You just need to rediscover it. May your passion and curiosity be endless. Like my rabbit, may your enthusiasm be infectious. And may your final outcome be of service to others. Each of us makes the difference in the universe. I make mine, and the universe is awaiting you guys. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing this episode. I will see you next time. No excuses.